Good morning, dear friends. A warm welcome to our panelists and participants to the national webinar on water wisdom, efficient management of water. This is a national webinar, but it is more, from the participants I saw some of their names on chat. It's more of an international webinar because we have participants from Bangladesh, Muscat, and a lot of others who have not mentioned, but I'm
Philippines, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, a number of participants. We're so glad that you could join in such an important topic as this. And this webinar is organized by MCM College of Management and headed by our director, Dr. Prabhu Dev, and I, Dr. Shiva Thomas, will be the anchor for this session. And I'm glad to be interacting with each one of you here this morning. We all know that there is a scarcity of water, but we do know how to but we most of the time we do not know how to save water. And why is it necessary to save water? India faces a major crisis of water as we move into the next century. Water is an integral part of ecological system, sustaining all forms of life. At the same time, it is a natural resource managed by the state for the benefit of mankind. Yeah, water is a free gift given to us by God, but often we misuse it. And as we said, it is managed by the state for the benefit of mankind. Due to the rapid growth of population and industry, water scarcity is increasing day by day, adding stress to on this grand resource, both qualitatively and quantitatively. I'm sure we're all waiting for our main speaker, Dr. V.S. Prakash, a renowned scientist, to speak to us. Let me once again introduce our topic this morning: water wisdom, efficient management of water. Okay, a few guidelines before we begin this webinar. One is, do put your audio on mute. Secondly, we will be having a Q&A towards the end of the session. Kindly reserve your questions for the Q&A. Once again, this webinar is, I'd just like to mention that this is the webinar that's organized by MCM College of Management. Is a flagship institution among the group of institutions offering 2-year MBA program. And this institution, MCM College of Management, is managed by a committed group of compassionate, dedicated and philanthropic group of people who's come together. And some of the highlights of this institution is that MCM has been awarded the most promising management college in Karnataka in 2019. MCM is under the leadership of Dr. Prabhu Dev, and he's moving this institution in a big way. Okay, I'd like to give you a brief profile of Dr. Prabhu Dev, the director of MCM. He has 44 years of academic experience with a PhD in specialization in liquidity position of corporate securities in India and measures to impart greater liquidity. Dr. Prabhu Dev is a certified corporate director, has an MBA, LLB to his credentials. Sir was the professor and head Department of Commerce and Management, Sheshadripuram College, Bangalore. He was the academic dean of College of Business and Economic, Northeast Africa. He was the principal and director at CMR Institute of Management Studies, Bangalore. He was the director at Surana College of PG Studies. He was a senior professor at Christ University and director of campus at Presidency College. And presently, he is the director MCM College of Management, Bangalore. Sir has, to his credit, written 8 books and 30 research papers, 40 articles, okay, and he has guided 8 PhD and 8 MPhil students. He's been a resource in UGC-sponsored FTPs. Also, he has been a national, international, has inaugurated and chaired technical sessions at national and international conferences, has visited universities abroad, 6 universities abroad, and visited 20 countries globally. He's more than, he's been giving talks in more than 200 different forums and institutions, and the many organizations like the AIMA, New Delhi, World Council for Corporate Governance, United Kingdom. And he's also had many honors and awards to his credit. He's been the recipient of different awards for the outstanding contribution to education and society. And a souvenir title, Prabhu Dev, was brought out in the year 2016 by former students and well-wishers on the occasion of Dr. V. Prabhu Dev completing 4 decades in academics. We are indeed, he also got the award for his contribution to teaching just a few days back, which was in the newspaper a couple of days back. We're so honored to have you address us, Lord Dr. Prabhu Dev. We are indeed glad to have you, sir, as a panelist, and he will be giving the inaugural address.
Thank you.
Our main speaker this morning is Dr. V.S. Prakash. A brief profile about Dr. V.S. Prakash. Dr. V.S. Prakash is a renowned scientist, a member, Karnataka State Tanks Conservation Development Authority. He's formerly the advisor, registrar, International Institute of Information Technology, Bangalore, IIIT-B, and also he's an Indian Institute of Information Technology, Dharwad, IIT from Dharwad. He's been an advisor to these bodies. He's a founder, special director, Karnataka State Natural Disaster Monitoring Center, KSNDMC. He's been a director at the Drought Monitoring Cell, Karnataka. He's been the director of Karnataka State Remote Sensing Application Center and a faculty at Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Groundwater Research and Training, Government of India. Sir has also been the scientist, Central Groundwater Board, MOWR, Government of India, and a geologist, Groundwater Cell Department of Mines and Geology, Government of India, 1974 to 1978. Dr. V.S. Prakash, sir, has served as a member in various committees and task forces as below. He was a member of the task force group on Karnataka state water policy, has been an expert witness for Karnataka interstate water disputes. Sir heads the monitoring and advisory committee cloud seeding program from 2017 and 2019, and was involved in all cloud seeding programs in Karnataka since 2003. Sir was a member of the Dam Safety Committee, Government of India, and a member of the Groundwater Estimation Committee, GEC, Minister of Water Resources. He's also the Technical Committee member, preparation of manual on drought management for the country, Ministry of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare. He's also been the member of the Indian delegation to visit China for establishing bilateral relations in disaster management. Some of the awards and recognition that Sir has got, Dr. V.S. Prakash, has been the recipient of the National and International Award from Environmental Systems Research Institute, USA, it's a USA-based organization, ESRI, on best practice in application of remote sensing and GIS in disaster management. Okay, he's also advised the central government on various issues and is a renowned scientist. In fact, it's such a privilege that we have him online this morning to speak to us on such an important topic as this. We're really happy to have you, sir, online with us. I now invite Dr. Prabhu Dev, our director, to inaugurate the national webinar by his address.
Thank you. Very good morning. What a beautiful today. And we are having a webinar on a very, very important topic, water wisdom. Water is an important element for our existence. Water is life. There is a saying, you can live without love, but you can't live without water. Perhaps Earth is the only planet in the universe where you have both water and life. And pure water is world's first and foremost medicine. Earth surface is 71% water. lot of water, isn't it? Abundant water. But the fact remains that water scarcity always stares us in our eyes because water is needed by all, man and animal. While man uses water in addition to drinking, uses for non-drinking purposes, agriculture, industry. Probably animals, they use water only for drinking purpose. So the use of water by human, he has got a lot of reasons to use water. So this is one interesting observation. I was talking about, Dr. Shiba also was talking about water scarcity. Yes, having access to clean, pure, wholesome drinking water is a real challenge. And we have come across, we have seen heart-wrenching stories where women, the rural women, have to fetch water covering a distance of 4 to 5 kilometers under the scorching sun. This speaks of the difficulty in fetching clean water, the difficulty in fetching wholesome water. Globally speaking, nearly 800 million people have no access to clean and wholesome drinking water. It is a mind-boggling figure, 800 million people globally. And nearly 2 million people die every year globally because of water scarcity. And 1/5 of infant death every year is due to water-related diseases. And the problem is more deep and profound in developing countries where 80% of the illness all can be attributed to water and poor sanitation. World Health Organization, it brings out one very interesting observation. Every $1 spent on water can result in an economic return ranging between $3 to $34. So this speaks of importance of managing water well. Dr. Shiba was telling in an opening remark about wisdom to use water properly. Yes, usage of water is so important, and there's a lot of effort in using the water discreetly, judiciously. And this webinar, in fact, is designed. We have invited a very renowned speaker who will give us a lot of importance, a lot of ideas about the importance of water, the need to use water judiciously, and a lot of efforts are going on in this direction. In fact, artificial intelligence, which has made serious inroads in all spheres, has made a lot of work in this area, water domain. And there is something called fluid robotics. Fluid robotics uses a multi-sensory system and machine learning to bring clarity, efficiency, and scale to water management. And it also works towards plugging loopholes, because there could be some structural defect in the pipeline which result in a lot of water wastage. And here artificial learning is taking care. This is one very heartening fact. But one very disappointing is that our lakes are getting polluted because of the industrial effluents. Our rivers are getting polluted, coastlines are getting polluted, and a lot of work needs to be done in this area. We know very well that civilizations have always flourished alongside water bodies and rivers. And talking about our city, Bangalore city, which is a big city now, cosmopolitan city, and it has attracted the attention globally because of its rate of pace of growth, the rate at which Bangalore is growing. And in Bangalore city, drinking water was provided by few lakes long time back. If you look into historical perspective of Bangalore city, drinking water, unfiltered drinking water was drawn from lakes around. like Alsur Lake, Sankey tank, Dharmamudi tank, Miller's tank, and Sampangi tank. But later, as the city grew, water was drawn from other lakes and reservoirs like Hesarghatta Lake and TJ Lake, Tippagundanhalli Reservoir. This happened till early 1970s. But later, city grew by leaps and bounds. And we should really thank our planners. They had a vision. And there was a serious mismatch between the demand for water and water availability. So this prompted the policymakers to come out with a huge and ambitious plan, Kaveri Water Project. Kaveri Water Project, it is an ambitious plan where efforts were made to bring waters from more than 100 kilometers to Bangalore. And it started in 1974. Kaveri Project 1, that is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 is over, and now we are in phase 4. And I told it is a huge task, Herculean task. Believe me, there is a lot of effort behind this. Kaveri Basin and Bangalore city, there is a lot of altitudinal difference, nearly 500 meters. Therefore, when we open the tap in our residence, when there is a flow of water, unmindful of the embedded cost, we use water indiscriminately. Apparently it is for drinking, but we use for non-drinking purposes very liberally. But the thing is, if you look into the embedded cost and the effort, it will prompt you to use the water very, very discreetly. I was talking about Bangalore lakes. I was telling few lakes provided water. Where are those lakes? Where is Miller Lake? Miller Tank. Miller Tank, those who are familiar with the topography of Bangalore city and our campus, our college campus is close to erstwhile Miller Tank. Miller Tank is not there at all now. What you find is concrete buildings. You have so many buildings, so many clubs there. Karnataka Badminton Association and so many clubs. But I recall very vividly, Miller Tank, it reminded people, look, I was here sometime back, and there was a rain in Bangalore and there was water logging. But today, you don't find even small collection of water. I recall my childhood days when we used to play. We had, in Bangalore city, we had access to water lakes. We used to play near Sankey Tank, where my grandmother's house was there, and we used to play near Matikere. And it was a beautiful learning experience for children, going near water tank and seeing water bodies and water creatures. I really recall. And Bangalore, which earned the name, sobriquet, a very salubrious, beautiful city, it was because of lake. In 1960s, the estimation says there were 1,000 lakes. But where are the lakes now? But today we have, I think Dr. Prakash, he knows he's an authority, he's going to tell us, we have only a few lakes. For example, Dharmamudi Lake, which was providing water to Bangalore, old Bangalore city, has become a bus stand, a majestic bus stand. And Chalagatta Lake, it gave way to Karnataka Golf Association. And if you look into the historical perspective, yes, the lakes are going. And because of encroachment, because lakes got dried up, and because there are new residential layout brought by BDA. And in fact, Care Market, there was a lake, historically speaking, Siddhikatte Lake, Kempamudi Lake, there was a lake, but Kempamudi Lake today it is a place where sewerage collection, it has become a sewerage collection tank. But one thing, today, the newspaper reportage, when you open today's newspaper, The newspaper reportage says a lot about the heavy rain in Bangalore city and resulting in flooding in different areas. Why is this? Because water is not flowing towards the lake. Lakes are not there, and the existing lakes, water is not flowing. The result is flooding of residential areas, resulting in lot of problem for the residents where water gushed inside the house, causing a lot of damage to people, to property. This is one serious matter. But the satisfactory thing is there are a few lakes in Bangalore where you can see water collection, and the beauty of Bangalore is because of few existing lakes. I want to share my experience, personal experience here. 15 years ago, I used to get back home invariably at around 5:30. The reason being, there was an attraction. The reason being, I used to go to my terrace, 5:30 to nearly 40 minutes. I used to see a lot of birds. They used to fly in V shape, in beautiful trajectory. They would fly from Bellandur and Vartur Lake to Madiwala Lake. I stay in HSR layout. What a treat to watch. But today, you don't find this. The pollution in the lake has affected the flora and fauna. Bellandur Lake, you know, you have heard a lot of stories. You have read. Vartur Lake is polluted, Bellandur Lake is polluted. But government is making its effort to ensure that the pollution aspect is taken care of, and lakes are getting back to the former glory, the former the cleanliness what you find erstwhile days. You are getting back that. There are efforts. Today we have lakes close to our campus. We have Alsur Lake, we have Nagavara Lake, we have Hebbal Lake, Jakkur Lake, we have Agra Lake, Bellandur, Vartur Lake, Dodnekundi Lake, and we have Madiwala Lake, a very huge lake, and we have Bhairasandra Lake, we have Edur Lake. I should tell you here, lakes, some of the lakes are there today because of people's initiative. People's struggle. Lalbagh Lake is there. People, Bhairasandra. I should tell here, Bhairasandra Lake is due to the initiative of people. Lot of litigation were there. They fought using their own money. They mobilized funds. They used the money to fight legal battles. Today, Bhairasandra Lake, you should go and see what a beautiful scene. And fortunately, we have good lakes around. And I want to thank my students and staff. You know, they took up a beautiful initiative a few months back near Alsur Lake to create awareness about the need to keep the lakes clean, free from pollution. And today, this webinar is designed so that all of us get into the need, realize the need to exercise wisdom in using water. We have a very renowned scientist, Dr. Prakash, as Dr. Shiva Thomas was introducing. His contribution to the field is immense. He is the most sought after person. He visits top academic institutions throughout the country. And it is our fortune that he is here, and we are all eager to listen to him. And I thank Dr. Prakash for accepting our invitation. And I want to compliment the participants. Going by the profile of the participants, there are participants not just from Bangalore, outside Bangalore, different parts of Karnataka, from practically every state in India, and we have participants from Philippines, Nepal, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, many other countries. So this national webinar has assumed international flavor. Of course, the topic perhaps has prompted many people to register for this webinar. I take this opportunity to thank our management, which is very proactive, very encouraging, and without much ado, I would like to just hand over to Dr. Prakash, because we are all eager to listen to him. I'm sure there is going to be a huge takeaway from this webinar. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. V. Prabhu Dev. And much of the issues, much of the very interesting things about water, especially related to Bangalore, is well said by Dr. V. Prabhu Dev and also Dr. Shiva Thomas. Really, I found it very interesting, the introductory talk by Dr. V. Prabhu Dev really has brought out the issues, important issues, very well. Really, the ground is well set by Dr. V. Prabhu Dev. And well, it is indeed feel very happy to be with you all today morning. And at the outset, really my thanks to Dr. V. Prabhu Dev and the MCM institution for giving me this opportunity to be with you all. And well, I take it as a great opportunity and share my thoughts, some of the thoughts as far as water wisdom is concerned. How exactly we can improve our water use. As Dr. V. Prabhudev said, no, we have talked about water scarcity and suddenly we find too much of water all around us, water flowing on the road, water entering into the houses, inundation, things like that. So there is a paradox, too much and too little, both hand in hand. So some of the thoughts I would like to take you through, some of my thoughts about the water wisdom, water, how is responsibility on every individual, every institution, every farmer, every industry, stakeholders, the government apart, state and central government apart. There's a lot of responsibility on each one of us. So nevertheless, I do talk to many people and just tell them my own perception that water is taken for granted, it is taken for granted. And now a lot more needs to be learned about the water and how exactly my role in managing water, assessment water, developing the resource, and management of the resources. As rightly said by Dr. V. Prabhudev, we have got many lakes in Bangalore. Bangalore was a city of lakes. And I'm happy that, the MCM institution has taken initiative in conserving and developing Alsur Lake. Alsur Lake is one of the biggest lake in the Bangalore city. And Dr. V. Prabhudev did mention about all the lakes, and certainly Bangalore owes its beauty to the lakes which it has traditionally over hundreds of years. And the Alanka Lake itself is one of the long history. Many people may not know, and some people may know. I don't know this. Kempegowda, the founder of Bangalore city, he built that lake. And well, the story, when you go look back, there was a severe drought in Bangalore, and Kempegowda wanted to address the issue of drought mitigation, and it took up a lot of measures. And one of that was making this lake also. In that process, there was a king, Vijayanagar kingdom was there, and he was a chieftain. And well, he wanted money, and the money was not forthcoming in time. And he managed to mint his own currency to take forward the drought mitigation measure, construction of lakes. Well, many people may not know that, and well, for that, Kempegowda was imprisoned for minting his own money without the permission of the king. Well, water, is called unruly water. Water is unruly. There is a book called Unruly Water. Many of you may really like to go through that. I would suggest, please go through that. Water is unruly. How to really bring a sense and some sort of, involvement in this unruly water. Unless we bring sense to that, so really we have got a lot of responsibility, each one of us. I will start sharing my screen. Is it okay? I will start sharing my screen.
Yeah. Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible. So it is visible.
Yeah, you say, and Dr. Prabhu Dev spoke to me, and I was very happy. I thought, in mutually discussing with each other, I said the theme topic will be water wisdom, and how efficiently the water resources can be used, and what are the responsibilities on each one of us. So just I will go through the slides. Be with me, and when we talk about water, and well, just a minute, I will. Yes. So here, when we talk about water, how much water the physically we use day-to-day life, and also which some of the water is invisible. When we talk about a hamburger, one hamburger, the water footprint, the amount of water required is 2,400 liters. When you consume one hamburger, you'll be consuming 2,400 liters of water. A t-shirt, it requires something like 2,700 liters of water to make one t-shirt. One cup of coffee, 140 liters. So when you say that there is, let's say for example, I talked about t-shirt, growing the cotton and and harvesting it, processing it, bringing to industry, and all the process textile industry, finally it takes about 2,700 liters. That's what I mean. Cup of coffee, cup of coffee. Now, or it will be, when you consume a cup of coffee, indirectly, invisibly, you'll be consuming 140 liters of water. One A4 size paper, 10 liters of water. And well, if you have 100-gram chocolate, 2,400 liters. If you just put a 100-gram chocolate into your mouth, you're drinking 2,400 liters of water invisibly, unknowingly. 1 kg of beef, 15,500 liters. So the total water footprint of a consumer is one very important thing we need to know. There is a water footprint assessment manual is there, and many of you, please, I suggest that you may kindly go through that. And also there is a regional virtual water balances, virtual water trade going around the world. See, we don't see that. We grow, transport, and many of the things we bring in from other countries, virtually invisibly, the water trading goes around us. It is invisible, but at the same time, we need to know about it. So water is so important. Water is so important. So there is as rightly said in the introductory talk, and there is actually whatever we do, there is a water, there is a risks are there. The physical risk, the populational risk, regulatory risk, financial risk, and again water opportunity for business, frontal advantage, corporate image, it's all around water. So first I wanted to start just making you feel what exactly when we talk about water, the visible water, that is day-to-day, probably we use average about 150 liters for drinking, bathing, washing, things like that is visible. Invisibly, so how much water we consume per day, if you take into account, it is a really very, so here if you take how much water did you eat? Here, one cheese sandwich, one packet of crisp, and one bottle of Coca-Cola. But see the water bottles, that is the amount of water you are eating when you just eat one cheese sandwich, one packet of crisp, and bottle of cola. All this is what we mean the water footprint. Whatever I do in my day-to-day life, if I jot down, at the end of the day, I know how much water I have consumed. Well, when we talk about the crop water need, irrigation, agriculture is one of the important sector. Just yield, here for example, rice by surface irrigation, 1 kg of rice needs 4,000 liters of water by surface irrigation and 2,222 liters if it is improved irrigation using drip or sprinkler. Similar way, you can find, every crop, say for example, if you take wheat, requires 1,500 liters by surface irrigation to have 1 kg of wheat and 875 liters of water to have 1 kg of wheat by drip and sprinkler irrigation. So here, cotton, you require 3,429 liters of water to have 4 kg, 1 kg of cotton. So every, you take any fruit, soil seeds, cereals, vegetables, tomato is 182 liters of water, 1 kg of tomato. So these are called the water footprint agriculture. So this one need to know. Once we have an idea about this, we can relate to how much water indirectly, invisibly we are consuming. So here, I say water requirement for 1 acre. The previous slide was 1 kg. If you want to grow rice in Kharif season in 1 acre, 480 lakhs liters of water is required. So wheat, 180 lakhs of water is required. Probably it requires all water requirement, The sugarcane, 800 lakhs liters of water. Banana, 27 lakhs of liters of water. Mind-boggling. So this is what we need to keep in mind when we take water. So physically, the needs of water, industry and agriculture, drinking, bathing, our recreational purposes. But invisible water, the way we consume, is also one of the important aspects which we need to keep it in mind. Is water the next carbon? Yes, there is a big concern. Already it has been expressed by Dr. Shripath and also Dr. Prabhu Dev. 50% of the companies foresee near-term risks within maybe 5 years or so. 39% of the companies currently experience impacts such as disruption of operation from drought or flooding, declining water quality, and increase in water prices. So all over in the UK and world over, there is a big concern about the risk to the business around from the water issues. Water issues are already seriously disrupting manufacturing, supply chains, and operational risks will rise in the days to come. They must first understand their exposure across geographies and along value chains and product portfolios. So when we say water, we need to understand the water cycle, hydrological cycle. So water cycle, probably all of us have read it in our school days. So then we have the precipitation and we have the soil moisture, we have the operation, there is a condensation, there is a evapotranspiration, there is infiltration, storage in the surface water bodies, and again the sea water, the salty water, brackish water, the fresh water saline water interface, the water flowing in the rivers. There is the rain, soil moisture, surface water bodies, stream, spring, river, tank, lake, sea, the groundwater, invisible, and the humidity around us. And we talk about the blue water, green water, gray water, black water. Water was, general, we say is a colorless, odorless. But the water is so precious now. Now we have called it blue water, green water, gray water, black water, and all colors of water now. So then we say, what is true? If you want to really understand the 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 water, and we need to the water wisdom. No, it is, I have just selected a picture here. This is a lake, Kandavara Lake, just on the foothills of Nandi Hills. You can see the Nandi Hills on the background, just on the foothills and Nandi Hills. And 25 years back, this lake was almost, was having water almost for the entire throughout the year, and farmers used to grow 2 crops of paddy in the command area. 2 crops of paddy. For the last 25 years, the water inflow has dwindled. Now hardly you find pools of water in Kandavara tank. Hardly any water, it remains dry most of the year. And what has happened? The precipitation, the soil, everything almost, for a layman, it appears where the water has gone. So something has, the regime has undergone a big transformation. But now, anyway, the sewage water of the Bangalore city is the secondary treated, not tertiary treated. The secondary treated sewage and effluent of Bangalore city is being pumped to and filled into this Kandavara lake now. Now Kandavara lake has water now because of the pumping of the treated, secondary treated sewage and effluent from Bangalore city. So that means by getting water, the inflow drastically reduced. Now we are pumping water from Bangalore city, the sewage water, treated sewage from Bangalore city into the Kandavara lake. So this is, so here, if we need to understand, we need to have the data. From the data, we need to have a knowledge. In the given context becomes knowledge. In the given meaning becomes information. Information in the given insight becomes a wisdom. And insight is required from data to wisdom. Data is required, knowledge is required, information is required, wisdom is required. And accordingly, we can make any of the data relevant and make it relevant, make sense of it, act on it, and then we can have a wisdom, a good wisdom. We can be wise enough to manage our water resources in a much more better way and sensible way. So sustainable management of water resources, already we have spoken about it. This is the picture that comes to our mind. We have spoken in the previous slide also. Here we have got the biosphere, the atmosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere. They're all components. These 4, the 4, biosphere, atmosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, they do interact with each other. They do interact with each other. And here, the surface water and the geosphere is the interface between the subsurface and the atmosphere. Water in the atmosphere, water in the subsurface. So here, when we're talking about already in the previous slide, we need to know about how much is the precipitation, how much is the evaporation losses, infiltration, runoff, interception losses, and condensation, water storage in the surface water bodies. Once we have some idea about these things, probably, so then when we talk about water cycle, normally the idea is just visualize a large water cycle over a global scale or on a state level, district level, basin level. Suppose the basin is 10,000, more than thousands of square kilometer, huge basin. And we are talking about watershed, micro watershed, a 5 square kilometer. Is it enough? So we need to understand a small water cycle. Small water cycle. What do you mean by small water cycle? The water cycle which is around a lake of about, say, 30-40 hectare. It could be 100 acres. The cycle around the lake. Unless we understand that, in my opinion, my experience is, to be very honest, they lack in that. They have not made any serious attempt to understand the hydrological cycle operating around the lake. And apart from lake, what is the water cycle operating on a land parcel? Now, the farmer has got about 2 acre or 2.5 acre of land. What is the water cycle operating on the 2.5 acre of land? So do you have enough knowledge about it? Largely no. Largely no. We need to have about it. Why? You know, an household, if I have a house in my urban area, what is the water cycle operating, you know, on a house? What is it? And some of the things, these things, you know, we need to really uh, go into this small water cycle, understanding that the components of the water cycle, including large and small cycles, is very much required. So again, we talk about the blue water, green water, gray water, and things like that. So here, the blue water is the water which is physically available to us, and green water is the water which is around us in atmosphere, but we, physically, we can't have an access to that. But it nevertheless is we call it as a gray water, and black water, which is highly effluent water. People call it as black water. So black water, gray water, green water, blue water. So really, we need to have an understanding of that. And now they have started using the gray water, black water back into our day-to-day life. So when we talk about the urban water cycle, these are the things to be kept in mind: rivers, lakes, reservoir, and there is a rain, there is air pollution is there, septic tanks, landfills, dump sites, and there is a leakage from the water mains. I think Dr. P. Prabhu Dev did mention about it. There's a chlorination going on in treatment of it. There's a leakage from the sewer system, the wastewater treatment plant, sludge which comes out of the wastewater treatment plant, and wastewater reuse for irrigation, etc. Again, percolation from this irrigation field where the wastewater is used, underground fuel storage tanks, water supply withdrawal from groundwater. Then we are artificial recharge, aquifer recharge. We are talking about rainwater harvesting, things like that. Oh, and again, there is an evaporation going on. See the complexity of the the water. When we want to understand the water, these are the things really crops up which we need to understand. And the bottom, you got the aquifer. Aquifer is a groundwater storage and aquifer system, and it is not visible and not much is known about the aquifer system, which will come to in the next slides. So we have talked about when we talk about the eco cycle, and these are the things which comes to our mind, the drinking water, the wastewater, the food, the nutrients, agriculture land, a lot of nutrients, which used in the agriculture goes back to the natural, the drainages and goes to the river system back. Sludge is being used as a fertilizer, which has got its own impact on the water. The treated wastewater, we have discussed about it previously. Just wanted to see how complex it is, unless we have idea about these things. Water governance, I said, is unruly water. Hydrological regime has undergone a big change for last 3 decades. Needs better and perhaps a new understanding. More people plus more money, more water demand. They are relatively good in managing many things, but water management is in a miserable state. Scanty data, lack of systemic infrastructure, almost defunct institutions with a severe shortage of domain experts are issues of great concern. And let me also say that including the state groundwater department needs to be strengthened, and institutions working as vertical walls need to be laterally connected. Here, the stakeholders have very big responsibility in this lateral connectivity. The water budgeting is required at a watershed land parcel scale, as I already said. Wisdom, what we exactly mean by wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to use your experience and knowledge in order to make sensible decisions or judgment. What is the synonym of wisdom? Prudence, reasoning, sense, intelligence, understanding, learning, knowledge, insight, foresight, sound judgment. What is the opposite of wisdom? Stupidity and foolishness. So when we make some introspection of how wise we are, how much wisdom we do have, and do we really stupid in our approach? What is going around us? Sorry. So the water resources, what we need to understand is assessment, how to really assess the water resources, the development of the resource, how best we can develop it, how exactly we can manage the resources. So here comes the data availability, and also, once if you think a thing which is not measured properly cannot be managed properly. So here, want to have water wisdom, we need to have a lot of data, a lot of measurement, a lot of understanding. So that's where each one of us has got a role to play. More so, in my opinion, the young students and the academic, academic groups, academic institutions has got a much more large role to play. So components of the theme is the water cycle, spatial temporal variations in the water cycle, changes in hydrological regime, our changing world, the climate change, and people are talking about glacial retreat, sea level rise, saltwater intrusion, there is a change in the land use pattern, the role played by the dams, environmental flows, greenhouse gas emissions. These are all one way or the other related to the water cycle, the water availability, the health impact of dams, sedimentation of reservoirs. Another is the eutrophication. Eutrophication is one thing very important. What is eutrophication? The tanks becomes impermeable because of the lot of this contamination, which makes the tank bed impermeable, eutrophication. Large and small dams, groundwater storage, how much groundwater is stored, groundwater in the hydrological cycle, groundwater use, and alternatives to large-scale water storage, indigenous knowledge, virtual water and water footprints, as I said in the beginning, and desalinization, how to really manage the demand. These are the issues when we say water wisdom. The treatment and reuse of sewage and effluent, surface and groundwater pollution, marketability of crops and public acceptance, especially when we use wastewater, effect of water quality on soil and crops, public health concern related to pathogens, wastewater reuse in agriculture shows that an integrated planning approach considering economic as well as environmental and health issues related to water issue is essential to guarantee a success. Integrated catchment management and water policy supported by good R&D initiative and initiatives for sustainable development. These are the things which are the themes which really gets integrated when we say water wisdom. So when we talk about it, at least here, when we say that precipitation is one important aspect, we did Karnataka state for measuring the rainfall. Just from 1998, 99 onwards, we designed and developed a telemetry rain gauge which measures rainfall on its own, is GPS enabled, solar powered. When I had the opportunity as director of drought monitoring, I came from Govt of India and worked for drought monitoring cell and Karnataka State Natural Disaster Monitoring Center. Which captures the rainfall at every 15 minutes interval and communicates with the central server, and within 2 minutes we can know how much it has rained, where it has rained. Probably data, and now 2 million data comes every day. Probably one of the best system people say, and in fact Dr. K.J. Ramesh, the Director General of IMD, former Director General of IMD, is also participating today. He was very, very respected scientist of the country. He knows about it. Probably we all together brought this one unique system into the Karnataka state of understanding the water cycle, understanding, bringing a wisdom. Probably in when way back in 1441, I could able to really get this, information that in Korea, every farmer was supposed to measure the rainfall on his land. So there was rain gauge. Uh, every farmer was supposed to have a rain gauge and measure the rainfall based on the rainfall on his farm, on his land. The tax pattern, land tax, was based on the rainfall recorded in his land. That was the importance given in 1441. Every farmer. Later, we lost, the importance of the data, monitoring things like that. And well, there were days that even there was rain gauge for every, just maybe 300, 400, 500 square kilometer, one rain gauge. Now we have a rain gauge for every 30, 35 square kilometer. And in the days to come, we need to have much more number of monitoring devices. So here, just I want to share with you, this rainfall can be measured by anybody. Now you need to have a funnel, a bottle, few bricks, and you need to have devices to measure the volume of water which really collected in the bottle through the funnel. Once you measure the volume V is equal to pi r square h, and once you know the radius of the funnel, you can know the rainfall in terms of millimeter. Probably this is the My Rain Abhiyan, which really has started in a small way, is catching up. Now the farmers are putting up rain gauges in their own farm, and well, in the residential areas, urban area, people are installed rain gauges on the rooftops. So I am measuring rainfall on my rooftop. These are the farmers who are installing rain gauges in their farm. This is in the Chikballapura. They based on the rainfall measured, next step, they have started assessing the soil moisture availability and the crop water requirement and decide whether to irrigate or not to irrigate. And in the process, they are saving 40% groundwater. 40%. Believe me, this is, some of you, if you are interested, we can go and see how the 40% water is being saved by these farmers. So by data, by experience, by knowledge, having wisdom of what is going around them, so here the farmers, they could able to save 40% of water. So here, because of the lack of awareness, things like that, you can see the scarcity of water. These are the pictures, water shortage, drinking water scarcity, and the tanks going dry, and well, the crops are withering, the drought, the frequency of drought is increasing. At the same time, the heavy rain, floods is also a very common thing. You can see the bus is submerged, complete so much of inundation. So here, so the weather versus climate, we use weather, we use climate. If there is a specific event or condition that happens over a period of hours or days, climate refers to average weather condition in place for many years. Because I wanted to make it clear to them, you people, because we have, the climate change is around us, and we need to accept that climate, So when we talk about the climate connectivity, people are talking about more evaporation losses, more droughts, more wildfires, warmer ocean, stronger storms, more precipitation in some places, rising sea level, melting snow and ice, and changing conditions for plants and animals, shifting ranges and migration, changing seasonal patterns. So Earth is absorbing more energy, all these, the warmer atmosphere. So these are things which are really bringing a change in the spatial temporal availability of water. So this is, the frequency of drought has increased. This picture shows, so for example, even in Karnataka and the Bangalore area, after 16 years, 12 years, they were was affected by drought for 12 years in a span of 16 years. Just imagine. the frequency of drought. We are prone to more frequent droughts. And when we take about the flow available in the major rivers, the flow, annual flow, which was there in 1977, 78, 80, 82, and now the present flow, annual flow, is 1/3 of what it used to be, say 30, 40, 45 years back. So the availability of water is dwindling in the rivers, streams, lakes, and the demand is increasing. So probably these are the signs of climate change, higher temperature, changing rain and more drought, warm erosion. We have just discussed about it. And this has got a impact on the health, agriculture, energy, water supplies, and on the plants, animals, ecosystem, the forests, coastal areas, including recreation. So watch your water use. You need to watch your water use. Saving water saves energy, which in turn reduces greenhouse gas emission. It takes a lot of energy to treat the water you use every day to make it safe to drink and to deliver it to your house. It takes even more energy to turn it into hot water. Do you know that letting your faucet run warm water for 5 minutes uses about as much energy as having a 60-watt light bulb on for 14 hours? I mean, the water and energy goes, there is a nexus, it goes hand in hand. So be water wise, save water, test your water sense. So if there's you have to fix that faucet. A faucet that leaks at a rate of 1 drip per second can waste 3,000 gallons of water in a year. Look for leaks and a flush, if there is a small leakage, it could be lead to 200 gallons of water in a day. So wash only full loads of laundry. Otherwise, 90% of energy is used for washing clothes. So you need to be very take all these things into consideration. Go low flow. Talk with your family about installing water efficient appliances and plumbing fixtures like low flow shower heads. Saving water saves energy too. Make the drops to watts connection, drop to watt connection. So it is, once you save water, you are saving energy also. Here, you can't have one without the other, drops and watt. So here, I've just given a small example here. No, and turn off the tap when it is not required. So here, just by turning off the tap while you brush your teeth in the morning and before bedtime, you can save up to 8 gallons of water. That adds up to more than 200 gallons a month. So just bathing, 10 to 25 gallons, normally a shower, but the bath takes about 280 liters. So you can take a decent bath in 10 to 12 liters. Choice is yours, whether you want to use 280 liters or 10 liters. So if you want to be wise, better to use 10 to 12 liters and save water. Fix the leak. It is really, we need to immediately fix the leak, watering the plant, better to water the plant in the evening and early morning, and washing your bike or car, don't use hose pipe. You can use sponge and use less water. There is a lot of attempt being done to conserve water by polyhouses and reducing evaporation. Same time, these areas, there is a lot of overexploitation of groundwater. The demand side management is required. Just by conserving water, by reducing evaporation is not the panacea. Here, these areas, some of these areas, there is a lot of groundwater overexploitation which needs to be looked into. This is an example where I have shown a borewell. We have used groundwater, but we are not aware how much water I'm pumping, what is the drawdown, what is my well efficiency, what is my irrigation efficiency, what is the health of my borewell. Many, largely we are not aware of it. Largely we are unaware. And I was a member of the task force to come out with a policy for water policy for Karnataka state, and I strongly advocated a need for well card concept by monitoring, putting a sensor in the borewell and assessing the well health. And here on the right side you can see the well, the red color is the the well health is deteriorating, bore well health is deteriorating, which is going to die. So it is because of the overexploitation in the area. So right now the farmers do not know when the bore will stop giving water. If they have sensors, it is possible, and when the prognosis and diagnosis can be made. So water use efficiency, understanding water footprint, and water budgeting, water auditing, and water use efficiency in irrigation industry, institution, in domestic, irrigation efficiency, water security, how secure am I? And if I want to really start any new initiative, looking at the water security of the, when we make a project proposal, how to take into water security into consideration, the supply demand management. These are the important issues which really, more than anything, the water auditing, just like we audit for accounts, the water auditing is one thing very important. We need to audit our water, how much water is available, how much water I'm using, and whether I am grabbing water from the neighbors, or whether really I'm conserving water and helping the. So these are some of the initiatives which I had the opportunity of involving myself. This MyRain concept, developing a sensor to understand how much water I'm taking out of my borewell, and also by this we could able to really, in the recent COVID, which is when the lockdown was there, we could able to monitor the impact of the lockdown on the groundwater system. The groundwater level came up by more than 1,000 feet in electronicity. The groundwater withdrawal is so high because of the lockdown. The groundwater table has risen by more than 1,000 feet. So, and again, the impact of the these water treatment plants, and well, way back in April itself, we could able. I mean, that why not this virus COVID-19 takes the route of the sewage treatment plant, and well, now it is accepted now in the Chennai and everywhere people have accepted it is a path for transmitting the virus, and a lot of understanding now. The monitoring is going on in that direction. Well, this is one thing where I thought I would share with you, or putting some effort in getting better insight into the atmosphere and the water, the rainfall precipitation, the disaster management, and the use of remote sensing in GIS. So, probably small recognition of getting a national, international award. Well, filling the void, there is a void, and I feel that all of you have got an important role to fill the void. And each one of you can be a partner in the MyRain concept. You can be a partner in understanding the water cycle in a much more better way and filling up the void. So strategic framework for efficient use of water, monitor and move forward, understand the problem, identify and appraise their options, and deliver solutions. Why, what, how, interrelationship between the documents. These are questions we need to put ourselves, sit together, discuss, and move forward. So there was a mention, I think I'm happy Dr. V. Prabhu Dev did talk about data and data analytics. Well, we need to have data. Once we have the data, reliable data, and as you said, can have information through descriptive analytics. Once I have a good data, a descriptive analytics helps me in understanding what is happening around me. Then I can have inquisitive analytics that help in comprehending why is something happening in the business. There can be predictive analytics that help in anticipating what is likely to happen in the future. Prescriptive analytics that help in responding, so what, now what. And preemptive analytics. We have got many options before me. The analytics that helps in recommending what is required to be done. Shortlisting, going ahead now with narrowing down the options and moving way forward. These are the things which really, in the days to come, we need to really have a good data set, use analytics, and take appropriate decisions with a better insight into water resources. So the descriptive analytics gives us the information, predictive analytics gives us the insight, and prescriptive analytics helps us to make a decision, and preemptive analytics helps us to take action in managing our water resources and improving the efficiencies. So with this, we can really, we talk about equality and equity. It means a lot. And we have a good understanding, and we have a better insight and good decisions, we can really bring in equity in the social system. Probably once, unless we know a good diagnosis, prognosis, probably, it is like the cartoon by Dr. R.K. Lakshman. He doesn't know whose pulse he is monitoring. He says, whose pulse is this? Well, it doesn't help us in making any diagnosis, prognosis. With this good data analytics, and good insight, well, we can really enjoy this learning experience and excel in whatever we do. So we need to be much more wiser in assessment, development, management of our water resources. Thank you very much. And well, this is in brief. I think I have taken 40 minutes. I think I want to share these things with you. And I think I will stop sharing the screen and back to you.
Thank you, sir, so much for your valuable and colorful and really kept us glued to the screen for your expert insights in this area. The beautiful examples and how much of water we consume was really insightful. And it also gave us the need and the importance of water and how often we misuse water. And also thank you for your been highlighting biodiversity, sustainable management for water resource, and even water governance, and how we can avoid water wastage. I think that's the biggest contribution that we all can do, and also letting us know how we can effectively use water. Okay, right now the virtual flow is now open for questions. Kindly unmute, introduce yourself, you can ask questions. A request to all participants, if you are asking your question, do raise your hand. Professor Samath will unmute you and then help you to ask the question. Yeah, now the floor is open for questions.
I think I've got a question to the participants.
Yeah.
I want to ask the participants, how many of them have seen a rain gauge? Please, put a rain gauge of your own. Dr. V. Prabhu Dev and Dr. Shiva Thomas. I think, you will really start enjoying, having a rain gauge and understand how much it has rained. From then, the journey starts. So then, probably,
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. I would like to ask one question. Just though my discipline is different, I am from Bangladesh. Dr. Mohammad Shalom. I am in the Department of Accounting and Information System. It is not my area. Still, I have a curiosity to know. That is, you have discussed so nicely regarding the sustainability of water management. And we are aware of the sustainability of economic development. Do you have any relationship between sustainability of water management and sustainability of economic development? Can you find out any relationship between these two?
As already in a subtle way covered in the few slides, they go hand in hand. Sustainable water management and sustainable economic development, they go very much hand in hand. That's why we need to focus more on the water resources, sustainable water resources management, sustainable economic development. Economy of water, in my opinion, they're very closely linked with each other. They're very closely linked with each other. They really go hand in hand. And more wiser we are when we understand it. And so probably I know the um, the 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 importance of the economy, sustainable development, and unless we take both together, it is very difficult. The economy is very important, but at the same time, it need to be sustainable. It need to be sustainable. Otherwise, the risk will be more. Probably we talk about risk, the vulnerability. So once we need to reduce the risk, we need to be more sustainable. So reducing the risk, as I said, is a demand side management, the reuse, recycle. So by various means in a sustainability component certainly can be brought into the development aspects.
Thank you, sir. Deepak LH has been unmuted. Sir, your question.
Good afternoon, sir. How you are measuring the rainfall in a plastic bottle? You are shown in one of your paper cuttings. I want to know more about it.
It's a very good question. See, the rainfall which falls from the sky, when I collect it, when it passes through a funnel, that is the area of cross section. The funnel has the area of cross section. It is the funnel, the rainfall falling on the funnel which is open to the sky. There is the water which goes down into the bottle collector. Okay, so the funnel is circular. When I know the area of cross section is pi r square. R, radius is a radius. Once I know the radius of the funnel and I know the pi r square, the volume is pi r square h. What is the volume of water collected in the bottle? I can measure the volume of water in milliliter, okay, ml. So I know the volume. So I know the radius. V is equal to pi r square h. I can know the rainfall h in millimeter. Just you have to take care of the units. It is easily it is possible. And once if you intend to measure rainfall, well, you just try measure the diameter. Half of the diameter is the radius of the funnel. It could be, if the radius of the funnel is something like about 15 centimeter, half of it, 7.5 centimeters radius, and measure the volume of rain collected in the bottle just below the funnel in terms of milliliter. And liter, you can convert milliliter into same units. 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters. And cubic meter, 1 cubic meter convert. It is a simple mathematics. You can estimate the rainfall in millimeter. So you need hardly one funnel, a bottle, collecting bottle, and we put a bricks around because the wind should not throw away the bottle and the funnel. And second, and when there's a because there will be rain for about 10-15 minutes followed by a sunshine, the water should not get evaporated. The bricks around protects the water collected in the container from getting evaporated. So it protects from the wind and also the evaporation also. Put some bricks around, 6 to 8 bricks, one bottle, one funnel.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Sabiha Khanam has been unmuted. I think so. Ms. Sabiha Khanam is not available. Dr. Geeta Venu has been unmuted.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Geeta Venu, Principal, MQI Degree College. Thank you for the wonderful presentation, sir. Now, my question pertains to rainwater harvesting. Now, despite the law in place, the concept has not caught people's imagination. Now, can you please share your thoughts on this, sir?
Is a very good question. And as you rightly said, in spite of making it mandatory, is not catching up. Probably is a lack of, number one, awareness, and number two is a lack of understanding of the need, the water scarcity, and well, I need to contribute in resolving the water crisis and reduce the, scarcity of water, and probably it is lack of awareness. Number one. Number two is there's a because it requires some little effort, the rainwater which falls on my roof comes down and the harvesting is done. Well, initially it brings a dirt which is on my rooftop. If I have to keep my rooftop clean, I have to put a filter, clean the filter now and then, probably it requires a little more effort. But in the days to come, it becomes inevitable. And that's where, so at least in my home, I've got rainwater harvesting, and I go open the wall after the rain starts. After about 10-15 minutes, when all the dirt has flowed away, I open the wall and the water goes into my sump. I collect it and use it. It's only is a little more effort. Probably it can be automated. Probably in the days to come, this can be automated, which it makes it more acceptable to the community. Probably measure, a system can measure the dirt and which is coming from the rooftop along with the rainwater. Once it's clean, their sensor allows the water go into the sump. Maybe people will develop confidence into that. It becomes more popular. Also, it is possible. We can do that. We can make it more acceptable.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
if I may ask you, sir, what's the approximate cost of installing the entire thing on the rooftop? This will also.
Because the cost is not much. It could be because anyway, when we make the roof slope towards the outlet, which brings down the rainwater to the ground. No, it's only, it is only, if not all the rainwater, maybe one or two outlets which comes from the roof, I can harness and put it in a pit which percolates down, or make a sump, collect it, reuse it, or it can be through a filter, I can put it into my borewell. But I need to be sure the water is filtered and do not have any pathogens or any of the dirt material before we recharge the groundwater system. Well, once we are there, if we, probably in the days to come, I said, that's why I said there is a need for innovation and new ideas for making it more acceptable by more people in the community. It is required, and I'm happy you asked the question. Probably we can work as a community, we can work towards making it more acceptable, more adaptable by more number of people.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now we have Dr. V.C. Murthy. So your mic has been unmuted. You can ask your question.
Good morning, Prakash sir.
Good morning.
I was also in teaching line. Now I have become a farmer now.
Oh, so nice.
Okay. Now my simple question is, what I see in villages, indiscriminately they are using water for crops. The requirement of water, what I feel, it depends upon the moisture in the soil. Now, is there any method to measure the moisture? For example, to know the pH of any media, we use a pH paper. Like that, do you have anything available to know the moisture content of the soil so that we need not go for watering very oftenly? So that is one of the wise method of water utilization, what I feel. Thank
Yeah, very, very interesting question. When I go back to, say, 1978, 79, when I was actively working in the field, well, simple thing is, you take the very simple, non-glamorous way. You take the soil sample, weight, take, measure the, we used to use auger
Okay.
for taking out the soil sample from different depth. Otherwise, on the surface, maybe with a small, you can just scoop out the soil, measure the weight, and allow it to dry. Once it is dried up, again take the weight of it. The loss in weight is the soil moisture. It is a very simple way. The number two, another way is, you've got the oven. Most of the houses, we have got oven. The farming community, many of them have got oven. Scoop out soil, weigh it, put it in the oven, and so all the moisture evaporates, and weigh it again. That's the soil moisture. Because the loss of soil moisture converted into percentage is the soil. There is one way. There are many instruments available. Lawrence and Mayo, they bring out a pressure gauge, scoop out the soil moisture, put it together. There's a two cylindrical. You have to just put the soil in one cylinder. In the other cylinder, we have to put calcium carbide, couple it in the horizontal position. Once it is coupled, tighten, and shake it very well. There is a pressure gauge on the top. All the moisture gets evaporated, and you can see the soil moisture in terms of percentage. Lawrence and Mayo has got very simple. It costs just about 1,000 rupees. And right now there are many, digital sensors which are available in the market to measure the soil moisture. But these sensors require calibration. We cannot simply, buy a sensor, put it and start using it. Some calibration is required. And this is a way we can. And now, with little experience, my farmer friends, including, one of my progressive farmer is also participating in this webinar. So, well, with experience, they look at the leaves of the plant and they find out whether there is a soil moisture stress is there or not. That the crop requires to be irrigated or. So by looking at the leaves, the way the crop appears, leaves, they assess the soil moisture deficiency or adequacy in a very. It's a very indigenous knowledge. It is possible. No, they can. So this is. There are many ways, a very indigenous way, in a non-glamorous way. Right now, there are technological innovations which measures the digital instruments to measure the soil moisture are available. You can make use of it.
Thank you very much, sir. For a beginner like me, it was a wonderful information. Thank you.
No, your question was very, very relevant. Once we know total crop water requirement, we need to know the when to irrigate, when not to irrigate, and also link it to weather forecast. If it is going to rain in 2-3 days, there is no need to irrigate today. Probably putting up a weather forecast system in Karnataka state, and nearly 2 million farmers are using it. Even now, every day I do get phone call from farmers, and there are many information available on the weather forecast. We need to really learn to use the weather forecast, and also we can save a lot of water. As I said, the farmers, Mr. Anjane Reddy, I think, he's a progressive farmer leader. He's participating in the webinar. Just he has sent me a message. He has saved 40% water. Probably some of you who are interested, we can go to his farm, listen to him, and well, he talks to me quite often, almost every day. and people they are saving 40% water by what Dr. B.C. Murthy in a subtly mentioned, by knowing the soil moisture requirements, soil moisture adequacy, and tailoring the irrigation needs accordingly, they have saved 40%.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Shaista Parveen has been unmuted. You can pose your question.
Sir, I couldn't understand analytics, types of analytics.
Yeah, see, this is a data analytics. Now people are, there's a, IT in the information technology, the data analytics, big data, BDA is called big data analytics, is very commonly spoken about. There are people who write programs to analyze the data, because once I have the large data, manually analyzing it takes away a lot of my time. Say, for example, I showed a picture of automatic rainfall measurement, and well, if you collect the rainfall data and suppose about 8,000 sensors are there, 8,000 sensors manually analyzing it, putting it on a map, and finding out where it has rained, how much it has rained, and also sending the advisories. You can automate it. Data analytics is possible. There are people who are good in data analytics, component data analytics, which they can write a program, analyze the data, and bring information out of data. Data analytics is a tool which brings out information from the data.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I just have a question. Before that, I think somebody put it on the chat. Okay, I think this is Professor Gregory Sequeira from the Middle East. He has asked this question. I thought if you could if the Gulf countries water is in the Gulf countries water is recycled, what efforts are made in Karnataka in this regard?
That's a very good question. I know because some of my close friends, they are working in that area, Gulf countries. They are into the water management and things like that. And here in Karnataka, as I said in my presentation, near the Bangalore city generates something like about more than 1,100 million liters of water per day as a sewage. Now, a serious effort already has been done, and out of which nearly about 470 million liter sewage, the secondary treated sewage, is being reused in filling up the lakes in the suburban Bangalore and also in the Chikballapur-Kolar district. But however, there is some concern about the quality of water, the possible impact of using secondary treated water. The government is very much concerned about it. They're trying to further improvise the treatment process of the sewage, and but also is zero discharge policy is in place. Every industry needs to require, is expected to have the zero discharge policy. It means all the water, they want to treat it, reuse in the road premises without letting it out. The zero discharge policy. So this is also in place, which is many industries are following it, and so this is a lot of effort is going on. In the days to come, we can't afford to waste even a single drop of water. We need to really conserve and reuse.
Ali Mohammed Sajjan has been unmuted. You can pose your question. I believe he has some network issues. Mohammed Niamatullah has been unmuted. You can pose your question.
Hello, sir. I am from Bangalore. How can a common man save water? How can I save water? Is my question.
Very interesting question. Maybe in some of the slides, I made it very clear. Choice is yours. You can take a bath in 10 liters of water or 280 liters. So try. And when we eat, well, we can save water. We can save water by much of the water we buy when we go to mall. No, when you do shopping very sensibly, you're saving water. That's why I said water, visible water and invisible water. So I said, the visible water which we use in a day is about 120, 150 liters. Invisible water is more than 1,000 liters every day we use. I showed one picture. He's eating, his snack, and how much water he is consuming. Nearly more than, he had more than 1,000 water bottles just in the background. So common man can save water. There are many choice by way of adopting a lifestyle. You can save water. You can save water. And because this is a question which was asked to me, I was delivering a talk with the senior officers in the police department. So believe me, and when my talk is over, then one of the very senior officer, he said, please tell me, you have talked to me so much, tell me how you are saving water in your day-to-day routine. Instantaneously, I still remember that day. I don't know. Let me share with you. And well, I put my foot on the table in front of me where I was delivering the talk, and I was wearing a chappal with a belt chappal. I was not wearing a shoe with the socks. I said this is, and I was wearing a half shirt, and I said this is the way I am saving water. If I put on full shirt, maybe another 5 liters water is required to wash my full shirt, and washing my socks requires another 5 liters. This is the way I am saving my water. It's just left to your imagination, When it is rain, it is a bit chilled, you can wear full arm shirt, and when when you are unavoidable, when you're using air conditioner, better not to use, well, you can wear a coat and things like that. These are many ways a common man can save water. Yeah, and without wasting food. Not even a single grain of rice you should not waste. Cultivate the habit of not wasting the food. That's the best way of saving water. Whenever we go outside or on invitation to a wedding, birthday, things like that. So, well, we can save water in many ways.
Thank you, sir. Raju Yadav, you have been unmuted. You can pose your question. Syed Faizan Hussain, you have been unmuted. You can pose your question. There's an anonymous attendee. The name is showing as Redmi. You have been unmuted. You can pose your question. That was the last question from the Q&A session. Over to you, Shiba ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your insights, and thank you for you have so much of passion in answering questions, and I really like that about you, and it's very interesting. So much to know, and I'm sure we would need more time to understand this topic and to see how we can save water. Now, thank you all for attending this national turned international webinar this morning. And thank you, sir, Dr. Prakash, for your valuable insights. And, it was such a joy to see you answering those questions, and letting us know, because most of us don't have that in-depth knowledge about how to conserve water. And it is so nice of you to tell us. Okay, we thank you so much for your time and for your insight and all the experience that you have had in sharing with us. I also like to thank our director, Dr. Prabhu Dev, for setting the platform, for this webinar. And Lord, and even as you explained about usage of water and the background of water, conservation and what we were in Bangalore. Thank you, sir, for your highlighting the different regions in Bangalore. But sure, we all belong to different states and also different countries. I'm sure a lot of representatives here, we all have a different story to tell when it comes to water conservation, And I think most important, I think I'd like to thank our participants. We had over 170 participants for this webinar, nationally and internationally. A big thank you to all of you for making this possible. Your overwhelming response has been so gratifying to all the faculty and management of MCM who worked backstage. Have a great week, and we really enjoyed this time with each one of you. And I'm sure some of the questions that you asked on the chat we couldn't answer, but we will take it ahead a little later. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
week.
Prakash. Thank you. Thank you all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
See you
you.
in our next webinar.
Thank you. Thank you.